Let's get into our first topic. And let's talk about Ethan Embry, who was announced yesterday. I was going to do the story yesterday. There was just like so much going on. I was like, I'll save it for today. So apparently, Ethan Embry, who I've always liked him. I remember back in the day when he went by Ethan Randall. That's how far back I go with Ethan Embry. And then he was in one of my favorite movies, Can't Hardly Wait, with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Seth Green, which I told y'all when I was a kid growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, I used to dress like Seth Green with the big baggy jeans or whatever the case was with the wallet chain and the crazy hair colors and all that stuff. Yes, that was me back in the day. I wasn't doing the black scent like you because I was from New York. So I just talked like me, but I definitely was like I dressed like a raver in those days. But Ethan Embry is the next person to be a part of the cast. As you know, this movie is currently underway. We keep hearing so many new castings. So, according to reports, said the Scream 7 cast continues to grow as Deadline is reporting that Ethan Embry will star alongside legacy cast members Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Scott Foley, Matthew Lillard, Mason Gooding, and Jasmine Silverway Brown. Legacy cast members. Oh, well, I already read that part. That's when Blake discussed it. Now, Isabel May plays Sydney's daughter. Other franchise newcomers include Celeste O'Connor, McKenna Grace, Sam Reckner, Asa Gurman, Anna Camp, Mark Consuelos, and Joe McHale as Sydney's husband. Now, Kevin Williamson, writer of the original Scream, as well as Scream 2 and Scream 4, is directing the latest installment from a script by Guy Busick, who penned Scream 5 and 6. We don't know what the plot details are, but we are hearing that it may have something to do with AI and that sort of thing. So that's kind of been the rumor that's been floating around. Hence why they're saying like that maybe the killer or Urs is doing like some deep fake where that's why they have a lot of the legacy cast members who were previous killers that died are coming back and they're using, I guess, motion capture or something on the face to have them come in and do the AI stuff. So that way they can incorporate that in the film. So they're saying that that is what the rumor is. I don't necessarily know, but I will say this. I have been pretty much excited for this movie, especially it was like, you know what, as a legacy fan, I was happy that they had Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox coming back. Then it was a whole thing where Patrick Dempsey was supposed to come back as Mark Kincaid, but apparently something went on. I guess it was a pay disparity, so they decided to go with a different Mark. I let that slide. Then I started hearing stories about us. Then it was like Jasmine was coming back and Mason was coming back. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. They're bringing some of the characters from Scream 5 and 6 into this whole situation because Guy Busick wrote those two movies. So he wants, I guess, in some ways, bring characters that he and his other co-writer created to be a part of this franchise. I understand people are still mad about the whole Gaza thing and Palestine, but guess what? Y'all need to be even more pissed off at Trump because it was just announced that him and Netanyahu, and I just saw this on Instagram where who was it that posted it? Here's why with Kevin posted this, and I gagged when I saw this. So y'all sitting here talking about Biden is evil. Trump and Netanyahu is about to be worse because they literally just posted that they're about to relocate Palestinians and Trump is calling Gaza a demolition site. So, yeah, so he and Israeli prime minister are working on a plan to force all Palestinians out of Gaza and into other countries and said all of them when reporters asked how many Gazans he wanted to force out of their homes. So, yeah, Trump is literally doing this and got the king of the Zionists, Netanyahu, is literally about to do this, especially when you had the previous administration dropping bombs on all these people. So while y'all sitting up in here was mad over Biden and all the stuff that he did, well, guess what? The current administration, and I said this before y'all decided to vote for him, things are about to get way worse. But guess what? Sometimes y'all need to, it needs to be a FAFO situation for y'all to get it. And FAFO is fuck around and find out in case some of y'all are not good with, things and what they initially stand for. So some of y'all gonna have to learn the hard way, and this is welcome to the hard way. So while everybody's still mad at that, and don't get me wrong, I'm pissed off about the fact that we're not getting Melissa back, and I truly believe that Jenna Ortega left. Wasn't had nothing to do with no damn pay disparity or whatever the case was, scheduling conflicts, whatever it was she says. I think she was deciding to stand in solidarity with her girl. So, and she has a right to do that, but other people aren't afforded the opportunities like a Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega has a big fan base. She has a lot of roles that she can choose from. But people up in here sitting here trying to, label and go through and say like, well, Jasmine has this and Jasmine has that. I'm sorry, you weren't accounting. You don't get to judge what other actors do. If other actors decide to go and sign on to a movie, that's their business. Unless you're planning on of creating a GoFundMe to support these actors, which I'm sure you're not, because it's easy for y'all to sit behind your little computers and bitch and moan about what other people are doing rather than worrying about yourselves. It's a movie. The movie's going to get made regardless. So it's either shit or get off the pot, or you could protest by not going to see the movie. So I was glad that as a Legacy fan, we were getting Nev Campbell and all of them coming back. But then when y'all started with this, with the Stu thing, it feels a little desperate on my part, because even though y'all even tease the fact that Stu may be alive, complaining to the fan service, because over the years, the fans have consistently gone on social media, and even YouTube pundits have played into this. Stu's alive. Stu's alive. Stu's not dead. I don't know how you survive a big fat back TV, because them shits is heavy. I remember, because when I was growing up, I could not lift them damn televisions. So I don't know how you survive a fat back TV to the face. But apparently he did, according to the people. And they said they were going to bring it back in Scream 3. So I'm just curious to see how they're going to make all this work out, and how they're going to, what all this means, and what connection Ethan Embry's character, whoever he's playing, is got to this film. So while I am excited with all these other people y'all throwing in, it feels like that Spyglass is a little nervous. I feel like they're playing fan service now. I remember, shout out to Cody Leach, because he's another YouTuber that I watch. He, I think, posted something or another that this feels like the Deadpool and Wolverine of slashers, which was like, you had Ryan Reynolds bringing in all these past characters and kind of giving them their redemption arc, and it worked for that movie, bringing in Blade and Elektra and all these and Johnny Storm and all these other characters that we got in the film, and Daphne Keene, and bringing everybody from, it was a little nostalgia vibes that we was getting, and I truly feel that this film may play into that, because we're in an era now, and I've said this yesterday, that we're in this whole nostalgia era where a lot of us who are elder millennials, and then you have boomers. Is it no Gen X? Because boomers like my parents. When you have like elder millennials and you have Gen X who are at that age where a lot of the previous, a lot of the stuff that we grew up on, it's kind of resurfacing. Like we just talked about yesterday, they're rebooting Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That they're rebooting a lot of shows that we loved and we grew up on. And I feel like they could have went in so many different directions with Scream, where you can use the whole meta stuff, the copycat killer thing, but set it in a different town. It was kind of like what I was hoping that they were trying to do with the MTV series, but the MTV series was a hot ass mess. So I don't know, they couldn't seem to get that around. But I felt like every year you could do the whole copycat killer thing, where like it's very much like The Following, which was an idea that I believe that Kevin Williamson took from his Scream 3 idea and made it into a TV series. And I liked the show. It was on Fox for 2 seasons. Kevin Bacon was the FBI agent who was investigating this cult of serial killers. And I actually loved that show. It was on, but the problem was it was on network TV. I feel like if they would have rebooted that show today and they put it on a streaming service, it would, I think people would be able to tolerate that show way more than when they put it on Fox. The thing I will say about Fox back in the day, Fox was good with taking risks in regards to content and the type of films that they was putting out here. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, well, not shits and giggles, I put this picture of Ethan Embry. I'm like, first of all, when did he get hot? I was like, okay, come on, body. So, yeah, so I'm definitely curious to see what this film is. I'm not gonna go too hard on it just yet. I'm gonna still give Scream 7 the benefit of the doubt. I'm really hoping that everything works out, because you know what? It was like, let's bring in Nevin and Courtney. Let's bring in Kevin Williamson, even though he wrote 3 out of the 7 films. Um, and he only, I believe, directed 1 movie besides this film that he's currently filming. I just hope like this is not just some fan service that they're playing, and they're really like confident that we're gonna get a good freaking movie. This is not, let's just throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks, just because you're scared of the overall division that we have with the legacy fans and the new Scream fans that were brought in courtesy of Radio Silence. So I say all of this to say What do y'all think of this latest news regarding Ethan Embry being cast in Scream 7? I just feel like every time like, we're going to find out, like, when the day before the movie wraps, y'all cast somebody else. It just seems like, wouldn't y'all just kind of put it out there? A sidebar, another thing I'm kind of upset about that I really wish they wouldn't have done was reveal that Matthew Lillard was coming back and Scott Foley was coming back. I really feel like they could have kept that a secret. They could have filmed it in silence. We wouldn't have known about it. And that way, we could have had that element of surprise when we go in to see this film. I kind of wish they would have did that, but we're in this era now where people like stuff spoils. Kind of like what I said about Companion revealing too much in their second trailer, and a bunch of other movies where it's become this ongoing trend of spoiling things in trailers because you don't trust that your audience is smart enough to be able to go in and go on this ride, or that your movie, which is so far out of the box, will get seen in a theater. So I say all to say, whatever your thoughts are on this latest news and everything I just mentioned in this story, let me know in the comments down below.